Right now, a challenge for road crews, school districts, and drivers. It's on the way to south central Wisconsin, bringing a potentially dangerous mix of rain, sleet, and ice.
Plus, a county-level call-out. Dane County Executive Joe Parisi calls out the sheriff's office for not sharing more information on the officer-involved shooting that put Quadrin Wilson in the hospital and jail. And through their eyes, we see what Middleton police saw as a suspected drunk driver barreled into their squad car. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. A weather alert day starting tonight, lasting until tomorrow night, brings freezing rain, sleet, and snow to southern Wisconsin. And those could form a layer of ice on roadways, making travel dangerous. Chief Meteorologist Gary Kanalt joins us now with the details. Gary?
Well, so far, nothing happening in the backyard. The clouds are here, but the precipitation should start to break out over the next couple of hours. Let's start out by taking a look at Doppler track. You can see there's been some steady snow up in northern Minnesota. That's an area that could see some heavy snow, but so far the precipitation really hasn't broken out here in southern Wisconsin yet. Visibilities are generally pretty good. There might be some flurries or some freezing drizzle north of the Dells where visibilities are down a little bit, but winter weather advisories are in effect through 6 p.m. tomorrow for all of southern Wisconsin. They kick in at 11 p.m. over southeastern Wisconsin and at midnight down to the south of the Wisconsin-Illinois state line. But the southeastern part of the state will see some rain and then changing over to freezing rain. Most of us will see some freezing rain and sleet, and then the far northern parts of our viewing area north of the Dells will see mainly snow, maybe a little bit of sleet in there with perhaps a couple of inches of accumulation, but most of us could be seeing a tenth to maybe a quarter of an inch of ice accumulation, and that could make roads slippery. Temperatures right now right at the freezing mark in Madison, still above freezing to the south where mainly rain would fall, but to the north they're already well below freezing, so snow, freezing rain, or sleet would be the precipitation types. Look for that to start breaking out later on this evening. We'll see that off and on through the day tomorrow. Temperatures will drop to about 25 by morning and then hold steady through the day tomorrow. I'll show you how much snow and freezing rain we can expect across southern Wisconsin in just a few minutes.
All right, Gary. And meanwhile, Madison street crews have a busy 24 hours ahead of them. They are warning drivers that snow and ice will cause significant travel problems across the city. The Streets Division says 42 crews will be sent throughout Madison to salt and sand major roadways. But since the storm will last all night, roads will likely still freeze over after they're treated. That means you should still expect icy roads during your morning commute.
It's still going to be difficult travel out there. I mean, so really don't take this one lightly. It's not going to be a lot of material. I mean, it's not going to be a lot of accumulation of ice. It's not going to be real deep, but everything's going to be glazed over with about a tenth of an inch, quarter inch of ice. It's going to be very, very difficult out there.
The department urges anyone who can stay home tonight and tomorrow to do so if you can.
And stay up to date on the latest road conditions, school closing. It's all our First Warn Forecast weather app. It has hourly forecasts, the latest radar as well, and you can download it for free right now in your phone's app store. Simply search WISC weather. Dane County's top executive took an unusual step today. He all but called out the Dane County Sheriff's Office for not releasing enough information on the Quadrin Wilson shooting.
Naomi Coles is outside of the jail where Wilson continues to be held on bond. Naomi, why is this unusual?
Yeah, County Executive Joe Parisi issued a statement today. He said there hadn't been enough transparency in the Dane County Sheriff-led investigation. Now, county officials calling each other out like this is not normal here right now. A quick recap, Wilson remains in jail after his family says he was shot 5 times when 21 state and local officers cornered his car on the east side on February 3rd. Dane County wasn't involved. They're the third party that was asked to investigate. While the sheriff finally named the state agents who shot their guns that day, the sheriff's office still hasn't even said directly that the agents shot Wilson. Parisi says the level of transparency is not acceptable.
You know, this is not a comfortable thing to do, to, have to address, law enforcement leadership in this way. But, what I'm trying to do is give voice to a lot of people in this community who are kind of scratching their heads and saying, what's going on here? Why aren't we hearing more about what's going on?
He says he did not talk to the sheriff first privately and didn't consult other local leaders first before putting out his statements. In a statement, the sheriff defended his process, saying, quote, while inquiries and community expectations of transparency are understandable, the sheriff's office must take care to protect the integrity of the investigation, end quote. Now, Wilson's family has said he was shot 5 times in the back. Court records show that he was wanted for giving drugs to in an incident that eventually led to an overdose of a person almost a year ago. The sheriff's office said Friday they have not found evidence that Wilson was armed.
Naomi, thank you. We are seeing new video tonight of an officer-involved crash in Middleton last week. Take a look. You can see a police squad car drive through an intersection, and moments later, another vehicle is seen driving the wrong way toward the squad car. It then crashes into it head-on. The two officers and a driver were treated at a hospital for minor injuries. The driver was arrested for OWI. Officers say over the past 2 years, this is the 5th Middleton squad car to be damaged by someone who was later arrested for impaired driving.
Big Ten officials are deciding what will be done after that brawl broke out between coaches and players after the Badger game against Michigan yesterday. The altercation between head coaches Juwan Howard and Greg Gard seemed to have stemmed from a late timeout called by Gard as the Badgers were on their way to a blowout win over the Wolverines. We did learn today no charges will be filed by the UW-Madison Police Department. The Big Ten released a statement saying it has been in contact with both schools and is assessing the situation here, and it plans to take swift and appropriate action when the review is complete. An announcement is expected any time now. You can follow the very latest updates at channel3000.com. State Democrats are once again introducing paid family medical leave legislation. Democratic proposals would ensure workers have paid leave when they need it. They say it'll help new parents as well. Representative Sandy Pope says the measure could be made law within days if approved.
And I know that if the majority in our state legislature really wanted to make paid family medical leave a priority, we could pass this bill and get it to Governor Evers' desk to sign into law in just a matter of days.
The Democratic proposals are similar to ones introduced in 2019 that failed to win approval.
Democratic leaders are also working on passing a package of 8 bills aimed at helping teachers. One proposes a minimum salary be established for teachers. Lawmakers say teacher salaries have only increased 7.6% over the past 10 years, and that's really only 2% when adjusted for inflation. Another would allow teachers to get a $7,000 bonus every 5 years. Lawmakers also hope the measures will help the state's teacher shortage.
Despite a new path toward diplomacy, U.S. officials say there have been no signs that Russia is stepping back from the Ukraine border. Isabel Rosales with the latest.
U.S. intelligence and satellite images reveal Russia going full speed ahead with military preps.
Today might be that day, and we hope that's not the case, which is why we continue to exhaust every possible diplomatic option here going forward.
In a TV broadcast, Russian President Vladimir Putin accusing the West of threats. The Russian president says he is officially recognizing the separatist regions in Ukraine as independent states. Putin airing his grievances about the breakup of the former Soviet republics.
Modern Ukraine from the beginning and in its totality has been created by Russia.
The U.S. and allies warn every indication shows Russia is preparing to invade.
These are not the actions of the Russian government fulfilling its repeated declarations that it has no intention of invading Ukraine.
The U.S. also says it has credible information about a Russian kill list, writing in a letter to the United Nations that Russia is identifying Ukrainians to be killed or sent to camps. The Kremlin denying the claim, calling it absolute fiction.
We believe that any military operation of the size, scope, and magnitude of what we believe the Russians are planning will be extremely violent. It will cost the lives of Ukrainians and Russians, civilians and military personnel alike.
The Russian escalation at the front lines is at odds with what Putin has said publicly. Putin agreeing to a summit with President Joe Biden.
He can do the right thing by finding a diplomatic path forward.
Biden accepting on the condition Russia not invade Ukraine. In Washington, Isabel Rosales.
In response to Putin's recognition of 2 pro-Moscow Ukrainian territories, President Biden is set to impose new sanctions. The White House says the executive order would prohibit new investment, trade, and finance by Americans to, from, or in those regions of Ukraine. And the U.S. is set to announce additional measures following Putin's move.
The NTSB is investigating 2 helicopter crashes over the weekend. Surveillance video shows one crashing into Miami Beach waters several feet away from swimmers. 2 of the occupants were transported to the hospital. A 3rd passenger was not injured. Hours later, a home security camera in Newport Beach, California, captured a police helicopter with what sounded like mechanical trouble plunging into the water.
The pilots and all the police departments that I know of are very highly trained. With the Florida crash, from the video, it looked like there was a loss of engine power. So it seems to me that mechanical problems are implicated in both of these crashes.
1 police officer was killed in the California crash. Nicholas Vela was a 14-year department veteran. The pilot survived.
Up next at 5, Florida lawmakers will soon take up a controversial education bill.
Some are calling it the Don't Say Gay bill. Coming up, why opponents say it could make younger students more vulnerable if passed. And later, it's an industry that is constantly evolving. At 6, we take a closer look at electric vehicles and why they're becoming so popular.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family. Do good things in the community. Help out your neighbors. You've been there for so many others. Now, we're here for you. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
The President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture is one of the biggest sales of the year, now with special doorbusters. Starting Sunday, get incredible doorbuster deals, like a modern sofa chase with a free lift-top table, all while they last.
Wow. Wow is right.
Deals up to 60% off list throughout the store. Find a great accent piece, a warm fireplace, an amazing recliner. One of the best times to buy furniture. The huge President's Sale at Slumberland Furniture.
I want to be confident that my daughters will be okay.
I want to be sure that I'll be able to make it on my own.
That I'll be okay if my husband passes.
Through family legacies, divorce, and death, as women, we all want to be confident about our futures. At the Burrish Group at UBS, our financial professionals are experienced with all the challenges women face, no matter what life may bring.
I want to have $1 million when I retire.
Oh, great goal.
So where do I start?
Well, first you set up automatic transfers into savings. That can add up pretty quickly.
For me, working on putting $1,000 into an emergency fund got me in a good saving habit.
Already on it.
Then put together a plan to get rid of debt and maximize your investments. You know, Summit helped me do.
Oh, that's great. I love how Summit gives people the knowledge and confidence to go after their goals. It's your money. Own it. Summit Credit Union.
Guys, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction, Peak Performance for Men has a natural solution that can help you today. That's right. Stop wasting money on pills and inferior technology that hurts and just masks your ED. Fix it for good. The best part, our ED treatment is non-invasive, painless, and you can get back to your natural functionability after just a few short in-office sessions. Call us today and mention this ad, and your initial consultation is free. We are Madison's trusted specialist and only national erectile dysfunction provider. Call Peak Performance for Men today.
We have an alert day for our viewing area. Tonight at 6, we'll update you on what conditions to expect where you live.
Also, strong words from Dane County's executive about the Quadrin Wilson arrest incident. What he had to say on News 3 Now at 6.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team advocates for you, asking the right questions.
Yeah. You hope to make that right.
And getting results.
They sent a water heater the next day after you made the call.
Call for Action, only on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
A former Minneapolis police officer in the George Floyd civil rights trial testified in his own defense today. Thomas Lane, one of 3 on trial for allegedly violating George Floyd's civil rights. In May of 2020, Lane and former officer J. Alexander King were the first officers to respond to a report that George Floyd had tried to use a counterfeit $20 bill. Lane helped Derek Chauvin restrain Floyd. The 3 former officers also face a state trial later this year on charges of aiding and abetting in Floyd's murder. They have pleaded not guilty. Also today, Minnesota lawmakers lawmakers announced a new bill to recruit and retain police officers with, quote, strong moral character. The plan aims at addressing that state's critical shortage of officers. Democratic leaders say the proposal is based on collaboration with key law enforcement lobbying groups, including the Minnesota Sheriff's Association and the Chiefs of Police Association.
We have put together a bill that is built on the premise that Minnesota can recruit, can hire, can train, and can retain the kinds of police officers who reflect our community's values.
The state's Department of Public Safety says on average Minnesota turns out 536 officers a year, and at the current vacancy rate, it'll take 3 years to fill the open positions.
Tomorrow, Florida lawmakers will take up a controversial education proposal that opponents have called the Don't Say Gay bill. It would prohibit classroom discussions about sexual orientation or gender at younger grade levels. Wendy Gillette explains.
LGBTQ advocates protested over the weekend in Naples, Florida, as the state's House of Representatives prepares to take up a controversial parental rights and education bill. Opponents have labeled it the Don't Say Gay bill.
Don't silence gay people's lives, LGBT lives.
Florida House Bill number 1557 states that a school district may not encourage classroom discussion about sexual orientation or gender identity in primary grade levels or in a manner that is not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students. Supporters stress the bill is meant to address students in kindergarten through 3rd grade.
I think that's way too deep for children this age to be talking about sexual things.
Florida State Senator Dennis Baxley is the sponsor of the Senate version of the bill. He says schools should concentrate on core skills.
Look, we want you to teach them to read and do math and do science. And we're not interested in the social engineering to be done by the school system.
It would force kids back into the, proverbial closet.
Scott Galvin is the executive director of Safe Schools South Florida. He says a proposed amendment could lead to schools outing LGBTQ students to their parents. The bill had allowed schools to withhold parental notification if a reasonably prudent person would believe that disclosure would result in abuse, abandonment, or neglect. But the amendment would require the school to disclose such information within 6 weeks. If that amendment is included, why is it going to have a chilling effect?
It forces kids to stay quiet at school, to not be their authentic selves.
A recent study found LGBTQ students who reported their school to be LGBTQ affirming had 30% lower odds of being bullied in the past year. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
The bill would also give parents the right to sue the school if they feel it is violating the legislation.
Interviews have begun as President Biden's search for a new Supreme Court justice continues. White House officials say at least one person had a sit-down meeting with the president last week. It's unclear how many candidates will be questioned, but an announcement of the nominee could be made within the next few days. A separate White House official says President Biden would like to make a decision by the end of the month.
A weather alert day brings dangerous driving conditions to southern Wisconsin. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Gary Kanalt. Gary?
Things are okay right now, but they will probably change pretty quickly over the next few hours. We do have that alert day in the forecast for tonight and tomorrow for freezing rain, sleet, and snow, but the snow mainly north of the Dells. Most areas will see a mixture of sleet and freezing rain. Could even start out with some rain south of Madison before changing over to that freezing rain and sleet as temperatures drop below freezing. Could be looking at maybe an inch or two of snow north of the Dells, but up to a quarter of an inch of ice over much of southern Wisconsin. That could lead to some really slippery road surfaces. You can see on Doppler track, not much going on across southern Wisconsin. There's been some steady light snow across parts of Minnesota back into North Dakota. That area will expand and the snow will really break out. In fact, that area is already starting to see some heavy snow in Fargo, North Dakota. Visibility down to a quarter of a mile, half of a mile in Superior, Wisconsin. But again, very little in the way of precipitation across the rest of the state. That will change over the next few hours. Winter weather advisories in effect pretty much for most of Wisconsin, except for the northwestern part of the state, where winter storm warnings are in effect for the heavier snow that extend back through the Twin Cities, and then blizzard warnings in effect for parts of eastern North Dakota and western Minnesota. Farther to the south, there are actually flood watches across parts of northern Illinois for rain there that could lead to some localized flooding. On future tracking, you can see very little precipitation now, but watch over the next few hours how it breaks out across much of southern Wisconsin. This is just before 9 p.m. Again, freezing rain, rain farther to the south where temperatures are warmer, snow up to the north, and then a couple of breaks, maybe a little bit overnight, and then you can see the freezing rain kicking in again tomorrow with some sleet during during the day. This is 10 a.m. But then as we head into the latter part of the afternoon, everything lifts to the north and the precipitation should start winding down. As far as snowfall amounts, again, there could be some heavy snow amounts up through central and northern Wisconsin, but maybe an inch or two north of the Dells and less than an inch across the rest of southern Wisconsin. The big problem could be freezing rain. Some areas could see a tenth to maybe as much as a quarter of an inch of ice accumulation. So because of that, winter weather advisory in effect until 6 p.m. Tuesday for all of southern Wisconsin. Look for some freezing rain, some sleet, some light snow developing tonight. Low temperature dropping to 24. Temperatures holding nearly steady through the day tomorrow. Again, some snow mainly north of Madison, but some light freezing rain and sleet elsewhere, and that could change into flurries late in the day with high of 25 and steady temperatures. Again, southern Wisconsin, a couple of rounds of some sleet and freezing rain, some rain down toward the Illinois state line, some light snow farther to the north and to the west, but again, another round tomorrow during the morning. That lifts to the north, and then by about this time tomorrow, most of that should be winding down or at least changing some flurries and freezing drizzle. Snowfall amounts, an inch or two, maybe a little bit more far northern portions of Juneau and Adams County, but less than an inch elsewhere. It's the freezing rain potential. There'll be these patches where you could see somewhere between a 1/15 of an inch and maybe as much as a quarter of an inch of ice accumulation, and also some sleet mixed in as well. Temperatures around 20 on Wednesday after the storm passes. Another weather system brings us the possibility for some light snow from late Thursday afternoon into Thursday night. That's looking like an inch or two type situation. Temperatures will stay cold through the weekend. The average high by this time should be in the middle 30s, and we won't reach that until the end of next week. As we check out first warn traffic, again, the precipitation hasn't started out here in Madison, so traffic moving pretty steadily. That's the Beltline view at Stoughton Road from the DOT camera. Traffic right now moving pretty steadily in both directions on the Beltline, I-39, 90, and 94 on the east side of Madison, as well as Stoughton Road. Travel times right now, 15 minutes either direction on the Beltline between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison, 24 minutes from the Beltline to Janesville and I-39, 90 to the south. US 12 Middleton to Sauk City is a 16-minute trip. Downtown to Sun Prairie, East Washington Avenue, and US 151 on this government holiday, 18-minute trip. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
All right, thank you, Gary. While the U.S. ban on Mexican avocados was short, its impact could be long-lasting. We'll have details when we return.
3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Stretch your dollar with 11% off everything at Menards. Brighten your garage with this 6,000 lumen 3-panel LED light bulb from GT Light. These bulbs are super bright and include 3 adjustable panels. Pick one up for $9.99 after 11% rebate. Update your garage with a new Chamberlain garage door opener. They offer innovative features to make it easy for home and garage access. Get 11% off Chamberlain garage door openers at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Fixed. No charge.
Ah, that's my son. He always takes care of his mama.
Ooh, what's up with Granny's casserole?
It's for after your Uncle Joe's funeral. My brother didn't have a life insurance policy.
I hear there's a collection to help Aunt Adele.
Yeah, a funeral costs north of $9,000 these days. That's a hefty bill for family to pay if there's no life insurance check to help.
Wow. Makes you think, doesn't it?
Which reminds me, I've been meaning to tell you, I got that $9.95 plan from Colonial Penn. I'm on a fixed income, so price is important.
The life insurance on TV.
Just $9.95 a month to help you pay my funeral expenses. What about your family, son? You've got a wife and kids, and a grandson living with you now, too.
Maybe I should get the $9.95 plan, too. Thing is, this has been a rough year for my business, Ma. Money's tight. Still, for $9.95 a month, I don't have a good excuse, do I?
I'm Jonathan for Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. If you're age 50 to 85, just $9.95 a month buys whole life insurance with guaranteed acceptance. You cannot be turned down for any health reason. There are no health questions. Guaranteed lifetime coverage. Your insurance can never be canceled. Just pay your premiums. Guaranteed lifetime rate lock. Your rate can never increase. It's locked in as soon as you're covered and stays the same for the rest of your life. With guarantees like these, it's no surprise the $9.95 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life insurance.
Now don't forget, wear your good suit tonight. And please call about the $9.95 plan today while it's on your mind, okay?
Call now for free information.
Call 1-800-505-7613 for free information and your free beneficiary planner. No obligation. 1-800-505-7613. That's 1-800-505-7613. Call now.
At iMart Express, it's just the right price. 2 pairs of glasses start under $40. Using insurance, we accept over 1,000 plans, and using your benefits is as easy as 1, 2, 3. No insurance? No problem. Glasses to fit your budget. It's just the right price. Only at iMart Express.
Be prepared for winter weather. Trust the First Warn Weather Team to give you clear, timely, and accurate info, keeping you safe and ahead of the storms. Your certified most accurate team. First Warn Weather, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The U.S. has lifted that temporary ban on avocados from Mexico, allowing more imports of the in-demand fruit to resume.
And while the recent halt was brief, experts say it's already creating an impact. Jen Sullivan has more.
Avocado shipments from Mexico are once again entering American soil after the U.S. lifted an unusual ban.
This is not something that I remember seeing in the last 20 years.
David Magana, senior analyst for Rabobank, says that while the ban was brief, the damage was done.
Going forward, obviously, we will see availability of avocados declining, and temporarily, we will see even higher prices.
The ban was put in place after a USDA safety inspector received a credible death threat on February 11th. While it's unclear who was behind it, experts say avocados have become so popular that criminals often want to get a slice of the action.
Avocados are one of the most lucrative crops in Mexico, and we've seen, unfortunately, that there has been some cartel activity linked to them.
Nearly 90% of the avocados imported to the U.S. come from Mexico. Magana says consumers could have trouble finding avocados and could pay more for those they do find at the store.
A piece of good news is that avocado production from California will be up 15% this year compared to the production last year.
Magana says increased scrutiny on Mexican produce has been growing over the decades.
The U.S. International Trade Commission has been investigating imports from Mexico for tomatoes for more than 20 years. And recently they did something for blueberries, and now also strawberries and bell peppers.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The Department of Agriculture says it's working closely with Mexican authorities to enact enhanced safety measures for inspectors working in the fields.
We'll have a final check of your First Warn forecast in just a moment.
You're watching Madison's fastest growing newscast, News 3 Now at 5.
Living with metastatic breast cancer means being relentless because every day matters. And having more of them is possible with Verzenio, the only one of its kind proven to help you live significantly longer when taken with fulvestrant, regardless of menopause status.
Verzenio plus fulvestrant is for HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer that has progressed after hormone therapy. Diarrhea is common, may be severe, or cause dehydration or infection. At the first sign, call your doctor, start an antidiarrheal, and drink fluids. Before taking Verzenio, tell your doctor about any fever, chills, or other signs of infection. Verzenio may cause low white blood cell counts, which may cause serious infection that can lead to death. Life-threatening lung inflammation can occur. Tell your doctor about any new or worsening trouble breathing, cough, or chest pain. Serious liver problems can happen. Symptoms include fatigue, appetite loss, stomach pain, and bleeding or bruising. Blood clots that can lead to death have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have pain or swelling in your arms or legs, shortness of breath, chest pain, and rapid breathing or heart rate, or if you are nursing, pregnant, or plan to be.
Every day matters, and I want more of them.
Ask your doctor about everyday Verzenio.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-Day Challenge.
Your senator is working with Donald Trump to take away your right to vote.
That's exactly what Ron Johnson is doing. It's why we must pass the Freedom to Vote Act.
With the Bucks, Alex Lasry took a stand.
Alex Lasry has used his power to expand voting rights.
I'll be a senator about action, not talk. We need to protect voting rights.
What makes him tick is his love and respect for people.
Equity and justice make us stronger. Alex gets it done.
I'm Alex Lasry, and I approve this message.
Everyone deserves stylish and quality furniture. So I'm calling all Bobs to help get the word out. Like this Bob, the original Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob, the Bob. President's Day weekend is here, and I'm celebrating big time with free treats in all my cafes. Plus untouchable values on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, and my world-famous Bobopedic mattresses. And if you love value as much as I do, stop by your local Bob's Discount Furniture store to get your free honorary Bob pin.
Come celebrate all President's Day weekend long.
We've got a lot of news to cover tonight. The world watches as Putin declares parts of Ukraine belong to him. Will the newest threat of sanctions have any impact on Russia's plans to invade? Plus, rats force Family Dollar to close hundreds of stores, why the FDA is warning of rodent-related health risk, and a school teacher makes history after decades of collecting it. We'll tell you how. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Let's go to Gary. Final check of the forecast. You got a busy stretch ahead here, Gary.
Yeah, right now just cloudy out there. You can see on Doppler track, not much going on across southern Wisconsin. There might be a little freezing drizzle or some flurries up, say, north of the Dells, but nothing really too significant at this point. But notice the temperatures. Madison's at 32. North and west of Madison, temperatures are below freezing. That's where, when the precipitation breaks out, it's going to be in the form of freezing rain and sleet. South of Madison, it could start as rain, but then eventually change to freezing rain and sleet. Snowfall amounts, not too bad. North of the Dells, maybe an inch or two, but it's the freezing rain potential. Up to 1/4 inch of ice accumulation in parts of southern Wisconsin through tomorrow. So that could make roads pretty slick in some spots.
All right, be careful out there, folks. We will keep you posted. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. CBS Evening News is next.